Hey, welcome to the production line videos. I am going to do something a little bit different this week, I guess. I thought that I would start off just by showing you what the game looks like in case you're completely new to it. So here we go. This is a car factory simulation game. Oh, I've got a problem over there. I have a problem over here, which I will just fix. Just, was it alloy wheels? Yeah. This is what my indie game looks like at the moment. It is a car factory strategy game on Steam and GOG and everything. It looks like this, and here's some like UI stuff. Anyway, I thought it might be interesting to talk about how this game has evolved, and maybe more interestingly, my kind of theory for how to get an indie game to do well and sell loads of copies. This is the third game that I personally made that's grossed over $1 million. And collectively they've grossed well over sort of $15 million. Been making games for a long time. I did Gratuitous Space Battles, I did the Democracy games, I did this, I've published loads of other games, so I've kind of like got a lot of experience of working on indie games and developing them, and kind of seeing what works and what doesn't. And I have a bit of a theory on it, and I'm going to kind of talk about this theory while I show you the evolution of this game. And basically my theory is, like, you need to make your game better. And a lot of people get offended by this, but I'm going to point out the kind of like deeper justification for where I'm coming from on that. I'm going to point out that it applies to me as much as it applies to like any game that's out there, whether it's Prison Architect or RimWorld or Stardew Valley or like your indie game, or a game that you like playing, or that you're playing in early access, whatever. You just need to make the game better, and I'll show you how drastically that applies to me. So boom, let us immediately jump to production line alpha version 1. Oh my god, it's horrible. First of all, what's going on here? There's lots of white. Do I want to blind people? There's the task editor, which I won't launch because it'll probably crash, which I now hide from people because it's so bad. It's pretty awful. And look, there's just so much white. It's like, I don't know. It's just, what's going on? Obviously, there's no tutorial, although there might have been. The actual basic layout of things is the same, although I noticed that I can't click and drag. I also can't zoom to the cursor. I can do this with these keys and those keys, but I can't click and drag, which is mostly how I move around when I play my own game now. If I click here, you get this, which I will just reveal to you in all its glory, and I say that it's bad. Look, this is all code art. Oh my god, it's just so bad. These little icons here are awful. Look at these icons. This is just bad. If I put something down, I get this like default noise, which is fairly ugly. I do actually get the let's put something else down. I do actually get the little stuff there where everything falls into place and you get a profile of what you're building. If I go to place a resource importer, well, you just have to guess where they go. Oh look, it goes here, but they're not being highlighted. And if I want to place this, I don't have the nice little user interface I used to have. And look, I get these little pop-ups for every tile rather than like a preview at the end. But basically it's there, right? This stuff is coming in. When this stuff is grayed out, I've got no feedback as to why. And there's no color coding here. The user interface is hideous color-wise. Look at this! I've now discovered grey. Like, the thing is, right, I'm mocking this. I sold this. As I recall, Alpha 1, or I didn't hide this from people out of hideous embarrassment, right? But this is production line. I think people got this in like pre-early access, like direct from my website. I think so. If you are one of the people that did that, thou art wise. Because look, it's hideous. Income, we haven't got any yet, admittedly, but throw me a bone here. Show me something. Expenses. I have discovered bright primary colours. And I have no other way of looking at them other than that. There are no loans in the game. Loans are for wimps. You don't need loans. You just have this. And it's not really the right size at all. All I've got up here is the car design screen, which I'm not allowed to click on yet because that would be forbidden. And look at this. This is amazing. Look, it doesn't even line up. Look, I've got too many save games and they spill over. I also can't scroll. Oh, I can scroll. Amazing. Amazing. I can't close this dialogue except knowing that I press escape. And this here is hideous, but a lot of the basic stuff is in there. So this is version 1. And my point is, right, my point is in terms of selling your indie game, this took years, or this took at least a year, I don't know. Let me see if I can see when it was. Alpha 1, 21st of the 1st, 2017. I can't remember when we started selling. I should have done some research. But like, this is not a bad indie game. Like, it's a complete working game. Like, you could play this and have fun, you know, and it would sell okay, and it did. It did sell okay. Okay, let's close that. Let's shoot ahead. I didn't keep every version, which is, you know, sad. Let's look at version 1.5, see if that's got any better. So this is 8th. Oh no, hang on. This is far later. Alpha 1.5. Oh no, we don't want that. Alpha 1.20. When's that? Let's have a look at that. Alpha 1.20. Okay, still hideous. I think this is better. We're supporting custom maps. Look. Talented UI artist has been employed at great expense. It's not that great though, is it? We have achievements. Look, we've got 8. and there's scrolling, which is great, but like there was never any anticipation of having more than 8. And look, we've got the efficiency screen with like charts and stuff. This is better. Okay, let me put down some slots, show you what I mean. Look at this. Look, the user interface is so much nicer. There's an actual color scheme. Okay, this isn't as kind of useless as... oh, we've got a sound for spinning things, you might notice. Very exciting indeed. Oh, I don't know what I'm doing. Paint, that down, and can I just drag drop through all of these, or will it freak out? No, look, it won't let me drag through them. I'll have to do that. And then that. Manually. That's no good, is it? That's no good. It's not as good. Now, this is almost what we have now. And look, I can drag it around. But again, it's very basic looking. This is ugly up here. That is actually squashed. I haven't done anything here except rejig it slightly. It's still very grey and white and hideous. The car design screen I now can launch. It's very basic, and it has tabs up here. These tabs are not going to scale well, as we will see. There's no color coding here to tell me anything. I can't pick the colors of my cars. There's a lot of stuff that just isn't here. I have a showroom, but that's it. I can now click and drag around the map. This is an improvement. This game will sell better. This game will make more money. Look at this, it's slightly nicer. I've got hints there. I have discovered a vaguely reasonable colour palette. I've discovered that putting icons all over the place looks a bit better. We've introduced loans into the game. This is all better. This game will sell better, and it did, and it will do better. So what was that? That was version Alpha 1.20. So I have Alpha 1.40. Let's have a look at this. Oh my God! Look, we are asking the player what my priority should be as a developer. We are showing off the achievements here, which is pretty cool, and we can launch, look, a better achievement screen that supports more achievements and that highlights information on a specific one. That's kind of nice. That looks better. This game will sell better. And again, if I go in here, I'm now restricted on my first playthrough to only playing the first map. I'm not quite sure what's changed here. A few things may have changed. Look, we have a market screen now. We have discovered that red is a nice colour to go behind this white text. We are wrong about this, but we have thought about it. And look, we have some colours here. If I go here, look, now I'm going to have cars in a column and this stuff here. And I'm going with up or down 5% thing here. That icon looks kind of squashed and is pretty ugly. But still, it's better, right? It's better. This will do better. I've got this little chevron thing here, which says this is the production line. Other things are other things, and that's still in the game now. And this is kind of better. That screen isn't even in there anymore, I don't think. I moved it somewhere else. And I've adopted this like color scheme here for whether stuff is very rare, common, or universal. I put a lot more work in, and it's looking a bit better. So that was at the end of 2017, version 1.41. I'm going to go to version 1.54, just at random. Okay, so this is July of last year. Let's look at it now. So the game, I think it's in early access now. It's very different. A lot more work has gone in. It's still in early access and we're still asking people's priorities. I actually have colour on this screen and I like the layout of this. This looks a lot better. It immediately shows you what a busy factory will be like. Stuff like that. We're supporting mods. So I have this thing that's still in the game now. And achievements, pretty much the same there. So if we go into new game now, we've got different game modes now. This is another thing that was added. Again, this version of the game sold better. More effort went in. People said, yeah, I want free play. Or I want scenarios. They went in. Arguably we could have more scenarios still. You could edit the map. We had a map editor put in. It's not very pretty. In fact, it's hideous. But it's in there. This was all in response to player demand. So again, let's play a map and see what we've got. It crashes! Tell you what, let's try another one. Let's try version 1.55. It's a little bit later. Who knows? Who knows what it'll be like? Let's go new game. It could be something to do with the mods. It's probably something to do with the mods actually. Because I've got mods enabled. Maybe I should turn. Yeah, maybe I should turn all the mods off. Should we try that? We'll try that because we don't need them for anything. Oh no! Look, so I can't tell from there. Oh my god! That crashed. Let's try a different one. Let's try 1.58. What we're getting is like the history of menu screens in production line. 1.58 actually loads. Can I turn mods off? Can I disable that mod? Yes, I can. This is better. This is much. Oh, this is much better. But on the left there, I can't tell which ones are disabled, which is a little bit of a like screw up, right? Whenever you find yourself thinking, I don't know information, I can't immediately tell the information I want in your game. Oh, I don't know what I did there. I don't know what happened there. Let's just try a new game. Let's try a new game and see if it will crash. Okay, brilliant. Right, now, look, we have company names and logos. This never used to be a thing. This scrolls when there's no reason for it. We have tons of space, so that's stupid. But we've got loads of icons. There's not that many, but we've got some, right? And you can edit it and stuff like that. So this is looking a lot better, a lot nicer. And look at this! Look, we have a blue background because we discovered that white was like hideous. But we don't really have much in the way of information. I mean, we got a little bit here. It tells you what slot gets unlocked. We have multiple tech trees now. Look, car designs with the vast options, technologies and processes. So that's interesting, and we now are colouring things differently. The research queue. If I add things to the research queue, you'll see the research queue is here. That doesn't really scale very well. And people complained about that. So what did I do? I listened because I wanted to make a better game. I wanted my indie game to sell better. So I kept working on it. I kept working on it and I kept improving it. Is there anything else new that's here? Put some things down. I think we've got little highlights here to tell me where to put resource conveyors, resource importers and stuff like that. that's kind of handy. I'm getting pop-ups here telling me what to do. You know, that's kind of good. And I think that the formatting of this has changed, hasn't it? Looks a little bit better. And here, look, we've added things here that we can't remove and that are redundant. This is stuff that these are features that always come with the game, but because they have to be applied to every car, there's kind of no point. Anyway, that's a little bit better. Look, we've got some extra icons here. We can turn the display of certain things off, like them. We can take postcard mode and take screenshots. I think this is more achievements now, but it's probably not as many as we've got. So that was version alpha 1.58. Let's skip ahead and go to, I don't know, alpha 1.64. So this is at the end of last year. The game is selling very well. It's in profit. I'm very happy with it. And I could stop there. I could easily stop working on my game because there's loads of decent reviews, loads of good feedback. I've changed the background color here so it's less offensive. This is all different along here, and I think better. I think the layout of this just changed, didn't it? Because we now have sandbox, free play scenario, and free play with all tech. The play mission button is bigger because it's the one you're most likely to hit. Hopefully this won't crash. Who knows? No. I don't think we've added any of these yet, and it's still too small. So this is looking a little bit better, a little bit nicer than we had before. And if I go up to these other screens here, you can see we've only got 3 there. More of those will show up in a minute. And now I've got a research queue over here, which is interesting. And I have technologies, processes, and car designs as 3 different tech trees. And we're still just showing what slots get unlocked. That's fine, but that's not really enough, right? If I put down a slot, let's see if I get a decent... I get a little bit of tutorial stuff popped up there, that's interesting. And if I put that down and I whiz forward a little bit, resources will come in. It's not bad. This isn't bad. In fact, this is pretty good. And I've got this... this scheduler here as well. I can't click on that to launch this user interface. I can't vaguely click on that. Something else that has gone in is you'll notice that these colours here, chassis assemble, they correspond to like the colours of stuff that gets put down. That's tutorial stuff. So I can kind of see on the map how things relate to these. When I really zoom in, they'll go away, but as I zoom out and those colours become clear, you'll see them. I also have blueprint mode, which I can go into. And I can place down blueprints for stuff I might buy later. What I can't do is place... Oh, no, I can, but it looks like I can't, is place down blueprints for other stuff. I can't hide those blueprints in normal mode, and there's no way for me to toggle into that mode. But this is damn good. Okay, that was version 1.64. We're nearly there now. We're nearly at the present day. If we go to version 1.7, so that's this year, that's 2019. This is the game from 2019. Oh look, here's a new thing, player guide. Look, it actually teaches you how to play the game. This is basically the Steam guide, but changed into a format that allows me to render it in the game. And this is handy because a lot of people won't find Steam guides, and if you're playing the GOG copy or the copy you bought direct through the Humble widget, you might not even know about Steam guides. So that's in the game. That adds to the game, right? That makes the game better. Not all games have that in them, but as I spoke to people playing the game and realised they were stuck on certain things, I thought I should put that in. Again, the game is... it's in early access. It's sold loads of copies. It's made hundreds of thousands of dollars. It's done well. It's a successful indie game, but I kept working on it. I thought it was really important to keep working on it and keep improving it. So I won't try and load something in because it'll probably crash because you won't have the latest stuff. But again, let's just start that same map. Also, the maps are starting quicker because the game has been optimized an enormous amount. Look, we've got a little help icon up there that launches that as well. F1 doesn't launch it, which really it should. I don't even think I've got that in now. Okay, so we've got all this stuff in there as before, and you can place down blueprints. Not really a hint that you can do them, but you can. Again, I can't hide the blueprints. Here we go, here's the market. I've now got this, the marketplace analysis, which is quite an interesting sort of layout of showing you what percentage of the potential sales of the game, sales of each individual car you're currently doing. So that's an improvement, right? You don't need this screen. This screen is optional. It's a different view of how to play the game, and you might not need it, but some players will appreciate it. So this screen probably increased sales by 1% or 2% in the long run. Okay, who cares? So it's kind of not worth doing. But these things all compound and they all add up. It was worth adding that. And again, the layout of this kind of sucks. There's a few things wrong with it here that I don't really like at all. It's kind of hard to put a finger on it. I think this is all the achievements we've got now, so that's quite nice. Can I toggle in and out of blueprint mode? I can with a hotkey. That's an improvement. Don't think the save game interface has changed much. Has this changed much? Yes, look. I worked out that there were loads of stats that were now in the game, like defects, for example, and like the asset refund rate and stuff that you were able to change in the game, but you could never see. So if you did research that made conveyors faster, it would say you've made conveyors faster. That's great, but what if you can't remember, you know, how much faster? They're currently 100%. You know, are they going to be like 110%, 150%? That information was nowhere in the game, but thousands of people, tens of thousands of people have bought the game, played the game, enjoyed the game, left good reviews. But this makes it better. This makes it better, so we add it to the game. And again, you know, changing to this system is probably like an extra 1% or something like that. You know, who knows? It was worth doing. If I look here, have we got any more information on these? If I go into technologies, look, this is some new stuff. So we're saying that, yeah, this unlocks this upgrade, but it will require this other specialization before you can do that. So some of this stuff here requires you to have sold 10 cars before you can research it. That's a new thing. That is a new thing. And look, we've got loads more stuff here. I added content to the game. Got hay fever. I added content to the game, which took a lot of time, took a lot of balancing, took a lot of all sorts. But now the car design screen isn't as sparse as it used to be because we've added all this stuff. This is cool, new stuff to keep people playing and all the rest of it. I don't know why we have that little gap there. Might have to look into that. Anyway, so there we go. So what version was that? That was version 1.70. What I'm going to do now is I'm going to show you the latest version of the game, which is 1.761, I guess. It's really 1.77. I'm going to switch my mods back on because I can't remember what ones I need for my current game, and I'm going to point them out to you and then just talk briefly about this whole kind of thing. Hopefully you find it interesting to like see a game evolve over time. You know, some people really do. Okay, so I'm going to load in the game that I'm currently sort of working on testing, which is a fairly big map, but it's not huge. Something that you can't really tell is that I have done an enormous amount of support for very large maps, really large maps. Okay, I don't know why that all got reset. So here's a fairly big map, and again I'm just going to go and apply that upgrade there, but I'm going to do it to all of them. Okay, so loads of other stuff was changed. For example, you'll see some of these cars here, they're slightly shiny. They have polished paintwork, which is a tech, which also required a new shader. There is one bit of DLC for the game, and that DLC is for crazy doors. If I go into like a supercar here, it's for this sort of car, and these sort of doors. You can have gull wing doors, scissor wing doors, stuff like that. I think I've got, yeah, this scissor wing. This is another thing, right? The whole picking of colours is a new thing. This here, showing you what price was in what what price range. And this isn't a normal slider, this is a non-linear slider, because these look like they're the same size but they're not. And you also have buttons here to adjust it, and you can adjust it just using the mouse wheel, or you can drag it like that. That was a lot of going back and forth with players of the game saying, oh, we need this, we need that. This took 5 minutes being able to support that. It took me longer to make these icons than it took to support it in code. But people like it, and the minute I put it in, I thought that's awesome. I put in a special shader to do this, to make it that sort of polished metal look. I really like that. Your mileage may vary. I'll show you what I mean if I turn off the polished paintwork. Looks like that. And if we do that, it looks like that. It didn't really work on that, but if so, there we go. There it is in black, polished, unpolished, polished, unpolished. And we added more vehicles. Right at the start, we only had like 3, and then we added vans. We added pickups. We added an off-road vehicle. Have I got an off-road vehicle? Yeah. We added loads of stuff into the game, and I'm still tweaking this game. I'm still improving the game. There's loads of tiny little things. There's something I just put in that I really like. Now, you may like it or you may hate it. If you hate it, just pretend you've never noticed. Okay? Right, look at this tooltip. And look at this one. And this one. They don't just flash into place, they kind of unveil. It takes place over like 1 frame. Depending what quality video you're watching on YouTube, you might not even see it. It's a very, very subtle thing, but I put that in yesterday, and I really like it. I think it looks so much nicer. There's loads of other really tiny things actually in here. I think it was income, wasn't it? No, it was expenses that I started breaking down the largest element, the largest element of the largest element. So yeah, we all know components is the big cost, but which components? So we now break that down a little bit there. And also you can sort these, which previously you couldn't. Another thing that's gone in recently is if you click on a car's details, it will tell you the powertrain for it. It now sorts these in a reverse order by how recently that we fitted them. I'm not going to bang on about that because I'm not really trying to do a video about the game. What I'm trying to do is a video about what I guess is called games as a service. So what I'm talking about is not charging the player on an ongoing basis, which is kind of one thing, and I've got nothing against that, but it's kind of like not what I'm doing here. What I'm talking about is if you make a game and it kind of does okay and you can just about afford to do it, keep improving it, because players really reward a game that goes that extra mile and adds all of those tiny little things that individual players said, you know, this part of the game really annoys me, could you add an option to disable that? Like people wanted to turn off blueprints, so if I go into blueprints and put a blueprint down, I'll have to put a little thing down, I guess. If I put that down there and I go back into the normal game, it's still there to remind me I can fit that. But you can toggle them off if you don't want them. Someone suggested that and I thought, well, you know, I can do it. And I'm sure like more than that one player uses it. Other stuff that is in your game will evolve over time and people will go, I love the game, but that little feature, like these little new things that have cropped up here, this is because I've been messing around with like older games. They've gone through many iterations. They're now based on a timer of visibility. They used to be based on a completely different algorithm. I've had so much feedback about the game, and I listen to all of it, I read all of it, I don't reply to all of it, but I reply to a lot of it. And every time someone says, I find this part of the game confusing, I find this part of the game frustrating, or I have a really old computer and the performance is bad, or I built a stupidly huge factory and I'm producing 1 billion cars a second and the performance is bad. All of that feedback I take and I try and use it to make the game better and better and better. And I've never been more proud of this game than I am now. I don't think I've ever been prouder of any individual thing I've actually worked on. If I showed you Democracy 3, which is still at the moment my best-selling game overall, there's loads of things that are wrong with that we will fix in a future version of it. But this, I am really sort of honing in on what I would like to have as like the perfect version of this game. And I love getting feedback. I love doing updates and having people say, that's really good that you've done this. Could you also do, you know, some other thing? I love hearing all that, and I love having ideas of new stuff to put in the game. And I think the problem for a lot of game developers, a lot of indie game developers, is they kind of give up on the game. And they give up too early. Obviously, if the game doesn't sell at all and it hasn't hit its market and there was some fundamental design problem with the game, I understand that. But if you've got a game that's selling pretty well, keep working on it, keep improving it, keep tweaking it. If your reviews are like 80%, that's excellent. Try and make them 85%. Try and make them 90%. Try and make them 95%. Unless you have hundreds of thousands of players and 100% reviews, or 99% positive reviews, there is something you could improve about your game, I think. Even if it's just making those new things optional so they don't upset existing players, whatever. I could have stayed very happy with this game when it was first on sale. I could have stayed very happy with this game when it actually went into early access or came out of early access, but I didn't. I continued working on it and improving it and adding tiny little things. There used to be no female characters. The characters are tiny, you hardly notice them, but some of them are obviously female now. Some of them are non-white now. I'm not going to hunt around looking for them because it'll, you know, just take my word for it, because people mentioned that to me and they said, you know, do you realise all the characters are white males? And I hadn't thought about it. But you take that feedback and you use it to make a better product and a better game. I know it's quite a long video, and I know I've kind of like shown you a lot about production line, but really what I'm getting at is I think it is a good thing. It's a good thing to have feedback from players. Constructive feedback, you know, not like your game sucks, I hate it, it's rubbish, I could do better. That's a new thing. That there, when you fix brakes and tyres and wheels, the car goes up on a little platform. That's only been in the game for like 2 months or something out of 3 years of development. You know, we never used to do that. Actually, when you go to engines, they open up the car to fit the engines. See if I can find it. Where is it? Is it here? Yeah, look. They open me up the bonnet. On the sports car, they open up the back because the engine's in the back. There you go, yeah, there's a sports car, look, they're putting the engine behind it. That was a lot of work. I think it's really good to get feedback. So if you're a player, please leave feedback because it's important. It helps people make better games. And if you're an indie game developer, please listen to the feedback. I know some people leave abusive or angry feedback and they're very annoying, and I know what that's like and it's awful. But you can tease out the nuggets of kind of, this is really helpful. You know, this is inspiring me to make a better game. Anyway, I am Cliff Harris, by the way. I am the designer and programmer at Positech Games, and I made this. And I hope you like this video. I hope if you're making games, that it inspires you to like keep working and keep improving. The first version of any game that you make is going to suck, and the first version that you release will suck. It will get better and better, and it will sell better as well. The reviews of Production Line have gone up over time. The median hours played have gone up over time, and it still sells very well, and I think it's because I'm continuing to improve the game. Anyway, if you like it, it's on Steam and GOG and the Humble Store, and direct from me using the Humble widget. There are links all over the place. If you like videos like this, thank you for watching. Please like and subscribe. Cheers.